Hello, my name is Terry Taylor and I'm the Printer's Plan Implementation Specialist at PrintReach Software. This is an orientation video to Cloud-Hosted Printer's Plan that'll walk you through how to access Cloud-Hosted Printer's Plan, how to set up a preferred access method on your workstations, and how to manage your files. So first we'll start off by just demonstrating the default access method, which is through your web browser, and you can just type in printersplan.printreach.com, and then it'll redirect you to our web client here where you can just type in your username and password. I'm going to log in with some demonstration credentials here, which have a few additional resources that you might not see on your machine. This is for testing purposes. You're primarily just going to see Printer's Plan or Explorer. So if I click on Printer's Plan here, it'll ask me if I want to allow access to local resources, and I can click Allow. And then once it connects here, I will just be using Printer's Plan through the web browser here. While I'm here, I can also look at the very top right where I see my user controls. Where it says user account, I'll click there, and there's where I can change my password. So you are likely provided a default password, and if you don't want to use that default password, you can change it through the web client. And then if I click on this All Resources tab, I can get back to my Work Resources tab here, where I have access to my files through Explorer. For the strongest integration with your local resources, we recommend using what's called the Remote app, and we have a guide on support.printreach.com, which I've already opened here. And if I click on my knowledge base, I'll do a search for just the words Remote app. And this is a Windows application or service that's included with the operating system by default. Typically, you can just press your Windows key and type in the words Remote app, and you'll see Remote Desktop Connection come up, and that's not what we're looking for, although it is similar. We need to type in Remote app, all is one word with no space between the two, and then you'll see Remote app and Desktop Connections come up. So since I have that here, I'll open that up, and you'll get this kind of blank looking window. So now let's get our guide open here. Cloud Hosted Printer's Plan, Remote app, step-by-step configuration. And we've already completed step 1 here, which is do the search in Windows and get the resource open. So if I follow through this guide here, in step 3, I'll find a URL that I'll need to set this up. So I'll copy that, right click, copy, and then I'll switch back to the little tab that shows Remote app, and I'll have to click on the left hand side here where it says Access Remote app and Desktop, and then I'll be presented with this screen. So this is where I'll paste in my URL and click Next, Next again, and then on this screen I'll be presented with my credentials screen. So I'll click Remember Me first because I want to save these credentials. I'll have to type in plan with the slash, the backslash that's above the enter key, and that's on the guide as well behind there. And then I'll just need to grab my login credentials and paste them in here. Put in some information, click OK. And if I don't select the box to save my credentials, it'll ask me for that information every time I want to log in, so I don't want that to happen. And it'll typically hang here for a minute and it might become non-responsive. At least at the moment of recording this video, that's typical for this connection. And then we'll have this screen that says your resources, and you can click View Resources. It'll open up a folder, which mine opened up on my other monitor. And I'll just want to grab those resources, the Printer's Plan and the Explorer, and I'll just move those to my desktop by dragging them over to desktop in your quick access area. If you don't have desktop in the quick access area, you can just right click on it and click Send to Desktop. And once we have those sent over, we can close all of our windows and we can go back to our desktop where we have our resources here. And you'll see in parentheses, each of these say work resources. And for the Explorer, I'd recommend keeping that labeling so you don't get it confused with your local files. If I double click on the Explorer work resource, it's going to do the first time connection. And it's going to load up all the resources. And once it does this the first time, it won't need to do it in the following connection attempts. So here we go. Now we have our server's files open, and these are the files that I'll have on the cloud-hosted Printers Plan server. So I'll need access to these files if I want to access my backups, my shipping labels, if I want to adjust my email templates or upload or download any files. And through here, I can easily grab any files that I want to and either upload them or download them just by right-clicking, copy, clicking on my desktop, and clicking paste. And it'll transfer the files back and forth. And next, through Printers Plan, I'll show you how we can export files to my local desktop as well. So I'll close this resource, and I'll click on my Printers Plan work resource connection. And then the first thing I want to do is click on the Printers Plan main menu. And then I'm going to look for Change Data Source Folders. So in here we'll be changing our export data location. I'll highlight it and click Change. And then we'll get this Browse for Folders screen where if I click into this PC, and this can be a bit sluggish because it's essentially merging the server's files with your local's files. So I'll have to look for where I want to save it on my local PC. So if I see C on and then the name of my computer, that's telling me that it's not the server's C drive, but my local C drive. So I'll click to expand that. And then I'll have to navigate through these files to get to my desktop. And I'll have to do this only one time and then it'll be set up. To get there, I'll have to click on Users, and I'll click the arrow to expand it so it opens up that area. And it's going to have these brief pauses where it needs to load. And then I'll choose my user here. And once I get into my user, then I can just select either my desktop or my documents or wherever I'd like to save those files to my local computer. I'll just find my desktop. There it is. I'll highlight desktop and click OK. So now that that's set up, I can just click close out of this and I'll do a test by just going to my job screen, see if I have any test orders in here, and I'll do an export. Once I click OK, it should open up a window asking me to save the exported document. There it is, and it's saving it to my desktop. So all I need to do from here is just click OK to save the file. This next window is going to ask you if you want to open it. From here, you'll typically want to click No, unless you want to use the OpenOffice tools that are included on the server to view stuff. If you don't have Microsoft Excel, you can use OpenOffice's spreadsheet viewer, and it'll open that from here. Otherwise, I'll click No, and I'll just navigate to the file, which is now, you can see here on my desktop. So now I can just navigate here and click Orders All, open it up with Excel. And lastly here, the other benefit of using the Microsoft Remote App configuration is that I can click Print and print to my local printers that I have here on my local network. Whereas through the browser, I would be limited in my ability to do that. I would just have to create a PDF and then print that PDF. So that concludes this basic access video. Now you have all the tools you need to start using Printers Plan, and you can even start managing your own files through the Explorer work resource. If you're converting from local Printers Plan to the cloud-hosted Printers Plan, you might want to double check all your settings and make sure everything's as you want it to be. Thank you for watching. you have any questions, please visit support.printreach.com or reach out to our support team, support@printreach.com.